Welcome to the Enjoy Hoover podcast, your guide for all things happening in our vibrant city. I'm your host, Melissa Carter, and each episode we bring you closer to the heart of Hoover, its events, businesses, and incredible people shaping our community. On today's episode, we're sitting down with someone who's making a big impact in the classroom and beyond. Katie Collins, Alabama's 2025 Teacher of the Year from Bluff Park Elementary. From inspiring young minds to shaping the future of education, Katie shares what drives her passion for teaching and how Hoover continues to support its educators. Whether you're a parent, student, or lifelong learner, you won't want to miss this conversation. So stay tuned as we celebrate one of Hoover's finest and hear what makes her classroom truly special. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's celebrate all the reasons to love Hoover together. Well, the heat finally showed up after a somewhat comfortable June, but the calendar never cools off in Hoover. We have so much going on, so let's get right into it. Hoover Restaurant Week is back July 18th through the 26th at participating restaurants all across Hoover. This week-long event showcases the city's diverse dining scene with participating restaurants offering special menus, promotions, and unique dining experiences. The festivities kick off on July 18th at the Hoover Met with special guest WBRC6's J.J. Pruitt. For participating restaurants, go to hooverrestaurantweek.com. Summer and ice cream are nearly the perfect pair. On July 20th, the Whole Scoop will host its 8th annual Ice Cream Eating Challenge. The contest will be at their shop located at 1021 Brock's Gap Parkway, Suite 105. The challenge features 44 flavors and a fast-paced Sunday race to benefit Hoover Helps, which is a charity fighting child food insecurity. Participants aged 15 plus are invited to compete for free ice cream for a year, with proceeds supporting aid to local children and food programs. Register at the Whole Scoop the week of July 14th. Follow the Whole Scoop on Facebook or Instagram for details. Even though it's the heat of the summer, school starts back soon. August 7th marks the first day for students, so be sure to stay aware when driving through one of Hoover's many school zones. Election Day for Hoover's mayor and 7 council seats is August 26th, with polls open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. The mayor's race, along with 5 council seats, are contested this year. For a full list of candidates, voting places, and more, visit the city's website at hooveralabama.gov. The city rivalry continues this season when Hoover takes on Spain Park August 29th at the Hoover Met at 5808 Stadium Trace Parkway. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. More details are available at hooverhighathletics.com or spainparkathletics.com. And finally, register now for the Ross Bridge 8K 1-mile fun run and health expo on August 30th. The race begins at 8 a.m. The course includes a scenic route starting in Ross Bridge Village Center and taking participants through 6 distinctive neighborhoods of a classic American resort town. The Health Expo will feature prizes, vendors, and children's activities. Register at runsignup.com.
We understand the frustration of trying to find the right answers in a sea of automated big bank options. That's why, for over 120 years, Union State Bank has helped thousands of individuals and businesses find the right financial solutions to achieve their goals. We're committed to building lasting and trustworthy partnerships, not meeting a monthly quota. Union State Bank, where every customer is a neighbor. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. MLO number is 421705.
Let's hear from our future interview of the week.
Katie Collins, thank you so much for being part of the podcast. Now, first of all, let me start off by saying that I'm a daughter of a teacher, and most of my family on her side of the family are teachers. So I come to you very humbly and very respectfully because I love what you do for a living. I also have a 10-year-old son, so I appreciate what you do. But I mean, the fact that you're Alabama's Teacher of the Year, that in itself, I don't know if I'm worthy of the conversation. Katie, thank you for being here.
No, stop that. First of all, you're a teacher kid.
I'm a teacher kid.
They have preacher kids and then they have teacher kids.
That's right.
The teacher kids are the ones that run through the hallways and,
I will tell you the difference was my mother very, very intelligently did not teach in the same system her kids went to school. So the way that my parents handled it is we moved to a neighborhood that was right on the border of two different school systems. So my brother and sister and I all went to one set of schools and she taught at another. So I was a good kid. I wasn't the kid. Now, look, my son is 10 and he goes to school with the teacher's kid in his class. And I got to say, as they're evolving, like hopefully they're not going to hear this, but you can tell that he's used to being raised by the other teachers, right? Because he's so used to everybody. And he, might have a little bit of discipline problems, but I was the good kid. I promise, Katie, I was the good kid.
Listen, there is no judgment here. I believe that schools are the playground for learning and making mistakes. And I'm just grateful for my teacher tribe, who is also my village and helping me raise my kids.
Well, listen, all right, so let's start. Now, I started strong by talking about how you are Alabama's Teacher of the Year. So let's talk about your school and how in the world you got to that point. Now, I mean, you're a fantastic teacher. That's how you got to that point. But I'm just curious, how does one get noticed enough to be able to get that award?
Well, first of all, I am still pinching myself that I have this title for this year. Nobody that I know, nor myself, gets into this profession for any kind of accolades. I don't know. For the listeners out there, teachers are not millionaires. We know that going into the profession. So we do it because we care about kids. We believe in the transformative power of education, and that's why we're here. And so in the fall, I was nominated by my colleagues because every year there is somebody is named Teacher of the Year for the school. And when I say I teach with the most ridiculously talented teachers at Bluff Park Elementary, I'm not kidding you. Like, I seriously walk by my colleagues and think, oh, I'm going to try that. Or they're inspiring me with this. Like, I really do. And for them to, or somebody to nominate me or throw my name in the pool of applicants for this, I was just blown away when they said that I was Teacher of the Year. And then my district, it's a large district, it's about 13,000 Hoover City schools. And I wrote an essay, and then in December, we were lining up for lunch, and all of a sudden, like, people stormed in my classroom with like flowers, and they told me that I was the district Teacher of the Year, elementary Teacher of the Year. There was also a district secondary Teacher of the Year, Kristen Bundren. Shout out to her at Spain Park High School. And anyways, from there, they were like, all right, now we're not going to just write one essay. Now here's a bunch. So then I pretty much spent the whole Christmas break working on this application, because I didn't know, honestly, when I got Teacher of the Year, that this was like kind of
a stepping stone up to the state level.
I didn't know that I had different levels. And so I turned in my application to the state of Alabama in January. And then I honestly forgot about it. Mm-hmm. I literally forgot about it. And then we came back from spring break and I still had forgotten about it. And then one night I got a call from the sweetest woman in Montgomery named Ann Starks. And she said, Miss Collins, I just want to congratulate you because you are one of Alabama's top 16 teachers of the year. You are Teacher of the Year for your district, which is District 3, Hoover's in District 3. And Kristen Bundren, also a Hoover teacher, was secondary, and she was in the top 16 too. So we were like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And then literally a few weeks later, I was walking down the hallway after school, Friday afternoon. I actually had like my sunglasses on and all my bags and my water bottles, just trying to get to the car. And my phone rings. Was in the hallway talking to my colleague. And I said, whoa, this says Montgomery. Montgomery's calling. And she said, Katie, pick it up. I was like, it's probably just spam. But I answered the phone and it was not spam. I'm so glad I picked up that call. It was our state superintendent, Dr. Eric Mackey, and he was telling me that I was top 4. And again, I was like, okay.
So you went down from 16 to 4.
16 to 4.
Something that you had forgotten forgotten about.
You just forget because you're just you're in your classroom.
You're working, right. Right.
And so then I went to the State Department in Montgomery and had an interview. And then that was on May 2nd. And then on May 7th was when they had the naming ceremony. It was really cool. I got to go meet all the top 16 teachers and get to network with them. And then it was on stage. that they announced that I was Alabama's Teacher of the Year. Aubrey Bennett is Alabama's Secondary Teacher of the Year and Alternate Teacher of the Year. And so now what this means is I'm learning so much. I am also going to be up for National Teacher of the Year. So
Oh,
I will
that's
go into that.
fantastic.
I don't really know what that looks like. We just learn things new things every day. I will get to go to Google for educators in California. There's going to be a conference for the National Teacher of the Year. And I have also heard that there's a good chance that all the Teachers of the Year for all the states will go to the White House.
Oh my gosh, how fantastic is that?
It's really cool. Again, like the best part about this is I get to be a voice for educators. And
Right.
I want to amplify the voices of educators throughout this. So that's really where my heart is. Like, I think it's really cool that I get to go to Google and I get to go to the White House, but really, I just want to represent teachers.
Right. Well, I think that, first of all, congratulations, well deserved. You can hear, if you're not familiar with Katie, you can hear her voice, like she's the energy that you have naturally that you bring into the classroom. You had joked off air before we were recording that you're a first grade teacher at heart. You know, my son is 10, like I said, and is the daughter of a teacher. I've been very involved in school. I've been the room mother. I've done the whole thing, for many years.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. We love the room moms up there. To all the room moms, we love you.
Well, it's been an honor, of course, but the importance of it. I mean, I knew the importance of it from the perspective of watching my mother. And my mother, who is no longer with us, but my mother at the time was teaching during desegregation. And so to hear her stories of the difference and the struggle and the heartbreak of seeing students who initially, did not care for each other for no reason. And then eventually, obviously, we have evolved. But from the parent standpoint now, to see the importance of the influence of teachers on my son, for his unique personality, for the way he interacts with other kids. And you hope the best for your children, but they are truly honed not only by the parents, but by the teachers. And if you have a great teacher, it's life-changing for that child. So I can't imagine how many children you have changed. Well, now let me also bring up something I know that you are passionate about, and that's English as a second language. Yes. And I'm certainly not making anything political, but in all honesty, it's a challenging time, I think, in our country, not only for educators to be able to, to present literature that they want to present without concern for criticism, but also for this, seemingly division in our country of the background of some of our adults as well as our children. So talk a little bit about why that is important in your career and how you get involved with that.
Well, I think part of it really is just, as Alabama Teacher of the Year, I have a mission statement. I read it the other day. Because there's no really roadmap for this job or for this role. And so one of the words that I used in there is to promote unity between educators and the legislature, just to promote unity within communities. I want to help bridge gaps. So I just think that I love people. That is part of why I am a teacher. I love all people, all different kinds of people. And so I was impacted myself by incredible people who saw something in me. And I just know, as being a teacher in the trenches for over 20 years, every kid that comes into my classroom, no matter where they're from, no matter where they've been, no matter their home life, every single kid is gifted in some incredible way. Actually, I had an EL student come to our school. I was so sad. I did not get this sweet girl, but she was down the hall and she was a newcomer, no English. This kid is probably one of the smartest kids I've ever seen, ever, coming from, I think, El Salvador or Honduras, insanely smart. But every kid, and not just being smart, what does smart mean? What is that? I believe in multiple intelligences. I believe that kids are not programmed the same. And so when I look out into my classroom, what I see potential. And I try as a teacher to just let every kid know that they have something that nobody else has. and it is their ability to interact and impact our world in the only way that they can. So that's what I want to convey wherever I go, is that every person has something incredible to offer. And so I just want to empower everyone to know that that is the truth about people, like every person.
Yeah.
The colleagues I work with are ridiculously talented, as I said earlier, and just they have strengths that I don't have, and I need their strengths to be a better version of myself. Does that answer your question?
It does. Absolutely. It answers my question. Because it makes me think of people who ignorantly, and I say that with respect to the true definition of the word, see teachers as babysitters, where teachers are certainly not that. And like you said, you don't get paid a lot of money and you still do this and you're passionate about it. And you can tell, I just want to say thank you for choosing this profession.
Well, it's my joy. It truly is. And what you just said about like the babysitter piece, yes, teachers are not babysitters. We are becoming so much more than just a teacher. We are wearing hats in that same regard. Like I feel so passionate about this profession. I was called at the age of 6. So this has been on my heart I've been a teacher since I was really could walk.
So when you started school, you've been a teacher since you started school.
Yeah, because I would come home from school in first grade and I would go and rehash everything to my little sister who was 3 at the time. And my mom was she has told me she was such an early reader because all I did was come home, throw my back down and say, hey, ready for school? And then we would just go into my phonics lesson that I learned in first grade that day. But going back to what we were talking about, teachers know they're not going to, what their paycheck's going to be. We did not get into this for that. However, the landscape of our schools is becoming more and more difficult, in my opinion, and all the teachers that I work with. And I am hearing people, not just at my school, just consider maybe leaving this profession because it has gotten really difficult. And it's not that we're babysitting. It's that I feel like our plates have gotten so full, and it's not necessarily people are putting stuff on it. It's that our kids have more needs. Mm-hmm. And we are being a counselor. We are being a social worker. We are being a behavior therapist, or not a therapist, but a behavior specialist when a kid is really so highly dysregulated that we're having to regulate and co-regulate for kids. Society is changing. And so one of the things I'm passionate about, I'm a mom of 4 kids. So my oldest are 13. My youngest is 7. He actually just finished first grade with me. Yay. He was not in my class.
I was going to say, teacher, you talking about teachers' kids, just saying. I'm just
That's what we call them, TAs. But what I have found is that society are overprotecting our kids in the real world, and we are underprotecting them in the virtual world. And there is an author of a book, The Anxious Generation. His name is Jonathan Haidt. And there's some really good things to think about. It's just really good thinking about what is the data showing about moving in from a play-based childhood in the late 90s, entering into a time of history called the phone-based childhood, where kids are given a phone. And we all made it through global pandemic. Yeah. I was teaching from my closet. Did my preschooler have an iPad? Yes, my preschooler did. But what we're really learning is that we, not out of the place of love, are trying to protect our kids, which that's a place of love. But we've got to give them independence, and we've got to let them try things. And so I have partnered with the Let Grow Experience, which is a partnership with Jonathan Haidt. And it's about promoting childhood independence. Mm-hmm. And I just think that this is something that we really need to look at, especially in the mental health piece. There are several other states that have passed the Focus Act, or Alabama's Focus Act, which is going to take out cell phones bell to bell.
Now let me interrupt you there, because I'm surprised we even let them into the schools. I got to be honest with you. I remember I wasn't allowed to bring a calculator to school. So so the fact that it even got to the point where kids were able to do this. It's funny to me, I guess, because I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm an old lady, and it's like, how did this even happen? Like, I would never, because like I said, my son's 10. He still doesn't have a cell phone. So, I
Yeah.
mean, and it's, it's like we don't plan on him having a cell phone until he's in high school, until he's out on his own. Because I don't know, like he has
Well,
access to
the
technology,
data,
but
if you haven't read this book, like you really need to listen to it. And by the way, it's free on Spotify for any Spotify listeners, but it's just
you're talking about
really
the
good.
anxious generation is the name of the book you're talking
Yes,
about.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
really good stuff about like just why are we here? How did we get here? It's just because a lot of the things we didn't understand, we didn't know. But this let grow is not hard, and I actually piloted it in my class last year, and I saw incredible things. And I'm telling you, I teach first grade. I had kids coming home, and basically the let grow experience is this: it's a simple homework assignment. Hey kids, we each month we talk about like maybe 10 minutes a new theme. Like in January, the theme was think outside of the box. In September, the theme is get outside of your comfort zone. So you learn about what is that. Then you learn about the word independence. And then kids are given an assignment. Go try something you haven't tried before with the permission of your parents. Parents are given some information. Kids go home. Lily Kate, she was 6, I think at the time. She made sweet potato fries in the air fryer all by herself. Little Lucas, he's, I don't know, 4 feet tall. I don't even know. Little guy vacuumed his whole house, just started doing stuff. And parents were like, what have you done, Miss Collins? And I said, I've done nothing. What your kid is doing is what your kid always has been able to do.
Isn't that funny? Because I think about the times where we had child labor. I mean, you just think about 150 years ago, we had issues with children working in factories and stuff at this age. And so it's funny how we go from, parents, especially farm families who had like 12 children and they're get them out in the field as soon as possible. And then we got to the point now where it's like, okay, go try something. So you're right. Yes, of course they're capable of doing these things. It's
But
just a
like,
matter of getting them to do it, right?
but here's the cool part. Since I started piloting it, like me as a parent, my paradigm has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, we had friends over last night for dinner. We made grilled chicken. Okay. What did I start to do? Just naturally cut up the chicken for the kids. That's not a bad thing, but they can do it.
Right.
They can cut their own chicken. And my 7-year-old can cut his chicken. And so I was like, you know what? Cut your chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to stop myself because I'm just doing things for them, making their lives easier. But actually what we need to stop doing is making their lives easier and letting them understand what adversity is and how to actually overcome it. Because that's what I feel is really so difficult in the classroom.
Yeah.
Is that I have kids that, will break a pencil and then just sit there and be like, what do I do? And I have to say to them all day long, I'm saying, how can you solve your problem? But for them to go ahead and find something they want to do, for them to get to actually do it, realize, wow, reflect on it. They actually fill out a leaf in my classroom when they do something that they've tried new and we put it up. It's like a tree. It becomes a tree and it's crazy. I mean, I have kids that are now making their own beds at home. I have kids that are now picking out their own clothes. I mean, some kids are not picking out their own clothes.
Right.
And so it's just, parents are doing our best and we love our kids. And so I think it just opens up our eyes to the fact that our kids are pretty capable.
Well,
And
yeah.
they feel so proud of themselves when they accomplish something. And then it makes them want to do it more.
Right. Yes, I think that, from what I'm hearing, it is that we as parents, because I think we have evolved when it comes to, or try to evolve when it comes to emotional intelligence, where we're thinking through these things and planning for them and doing these things for them. And it's almost like now we have to pull back a little bit and then be detached. So there's a fine balance of being detached from your child and being connected with what your child is doing. So, and that pendulum, like I mentioned, generations ago was too far over for being totally disconnected. And now, we got to get back to a fine medium.
And absolutely, this is about connecting. It's about connecting community, connecting school, and home. So I've just started, because of this, I'm starting to like talk my kids through things, but let them. And so my 7-year-old went and bought, he's at camp right now. He was not, like, to get him fired up, I said, okay, you can go buy a Lunchable, because he has really loved going to the pool, but I wanted him to have 1 week of a little bit of structure.
Right.
Okay. So that's a happy thing for him. So it's his
Well, and camp too, is it day camp or is it sleepover camp?
It's just day camp.
I was going to say, because we do the same thing, but sleepover camp, you talk about gaining independence and gaining.
Yes, it's so
sleepover
good.
camp is a great structure for having your kid face that fear, right?
Exactly. But we decided this number 4, Quattro, needed to go have 1 week of some structure.
Right.
So he's at camp today. But he, yesterday, I taught him how to walk into the Piggly Wiggly. I let him have my credit card, and I showed him how to like self-checkout.
Nice.
And then today I sat outside in the car. He ran into the Piggly Wiggly, but like, he is so proud of himself.
Yeah.
He's so proud of himself. And that's what's cool about it, is like the definition of anxiety by Sissy Goff is that anxiety is when you have an overestimation of the problem and an underestimation of the ability to solve it. So let me just tell you what, when he's like, oh, wow, this is how you do the grocery store. This is how you do it. Like, it's giving him the understanding that he can actually solve the problems that he faces in life.
My son, I had a conversation with him, several times, but most recently, and it's that my job is to make a self-sustaining man. I'm like, you don't need to find a wife to do things for you. You don't need to have others do things for you. You have to have the ability to do for yourself. Now, if you choose to have someone in sharing the responsibility, I said, that's what partnerships are. I'm like, but you have to know in your core that if there was nobody else around, that you could do it for yourself. And I'm like, that's my job. So when he gets anxious about having to do certain things, it's like, it's better to learn at 10. It's better to learn at 8. It's better to learn at 6.
Absolutely.
Then you try to be a 26-year-old and panicking because you don't know what to do.
Absolutely. And like, that's a low stakes environment. Like, those are the low stakes environments. Like, hey, can you run this over to the neighbor? Or can you ride your bike the block over? Those are low stakes. So we want them to be doing this and prepared at low stakes, so that when it's like high stakes, they're able to handle it.
And I tell them you're still going to panic, but then that panic's not going to last too long because you can figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the absence of panic, but it's the duration of it, and like you said, how the repercussion of your actions, what those are like. Katie Collins, I could talk to you all day about this, because I love it. But Katie Collins has been named Alabama's Teacher of the Year and now a candidate for National Teacher of the Year. So before we go, one last thing. We're recording this during summer break. So what is your favorite thing to do in Hoover when you're not in the classroom?
Oh my goodness. My favorite thing to do in Hoover, I love to go. It doesn't happen often. When I say it doesn't happen often, I just told you I have 4 kids. I'm a teacher, and my 4 kids don't just like live at home. They do like so many things. But when my favorite thing to do in Hoover is I love to go to the Renaissance Ross Bridge Spa, and I like to just get my nails done and stay all day long.
Atta girl.
I love it. Just like to go, just hear nothing, like quiet. I don't have that in my life right now, but when I get the opportunity, that's where I will be.
I love it. Katie, thank you for the conversation. I appreciate it. And thank you again for what you do.
Oh, thank you for what you do. And Hoover, we have lived here for 20 years. And we are both from a different suburb of Birmingham. And we thought we were going to live in Hoover for 2 years. But guess what? We are still in the same house on the same street because our roots grew so deep. And it's been a great place to live before having kids, to live after having kids. And, we live in a little area in Hoover that it's called Bluff Park. And it's not our house was like less than 1,500 square feet. We had 4 kids in this house, y'all. It was crazy. But we added on, and we are so grateful to be in Hoover.
If you're looking for a great hospital for great care, UAB Medical West is brand new and state-of-the-art. And recently joining their staff, Dr. Jamal Fitz, on why he chose MedWest.
Moving forward to start my practice, which was a big point for me because I did want to come back to Birmingham, given that's where I'm from. This is where my family is. I wanted to get back to that and give back to my community.
And we're glad to have you, Dr. Fitz. What is your specialty at UAB Medical West?
So I am an orthopedic surgeon who specializes in spine surgery. And a lot of people don't recognize that, but ortho does spine as well as neurosurgery. For me, I handle degenerative type of pathology, lumbar stenosis, cervical stenosis, back pain, neck pain. You can come and see me, and usually I can find something that works for you, most times in a minimally invasive type of way.
Dr. Jamal Fitz, one of more than 300 physicians at the new UAB Medical West. Comprehensive care for the entire family and designed around nature to promote an environment of wellness and healing rather than illness. UAB Medical West, just off 459 at the McCullough exit.
When the world shut down 5 years ago during the COVID quarantine, Hoover Restaurant Week was born. David Cohen, longtime Hoover resident and owner of The Whole Scoop, wanted to help local restaurants, especially at one of the most critical times most restaurants had ever faced. With the help of Matthew Allen, co-publisher of Enjoy Hoover, the two came up with the idea for Hoover Restaurant Week, Curbside Edition, where residents could pick up a specially selected meal from their favorite local eatery. What began with less than 20 restaurants that first year has grown into a beloved summer event featuring a plethora of Hoover eateries. From breakfast to dinner, there are plenty of featured menu items and cuisine styles sure to tempt your taste buds. The curbside concept was adopted specifically for the circumstances surrounding the pandemic, and the event is now a week-long celebration from July 18th through the 26th, with all specials exclusively in-house at participating restaurants. Two of those participating restaurants are Biscuit Belly in the Stadium Trace area and Saw's Barbecue in River Chase. We love to participate and support the city of Hoover, says Jimmy Farad of Saw's Barbecue. We are proud to be part of Hoover Restaurant Week and love when the residents get involved. Read about our restaurant and concept, visit and experience the hospitality we are known for. Saw's Barbecue has participated in Hoover Restaurant Week for the last 2 years and will be featuring a smoked chicken thighs plate during the event. If yummy, savory brunch is more your taste, be sure to check out Biscuit Belly's Brekkie Bowl, a bowl of home fries or cheesy grits topped with sautéed spinach and mushrooms, caramelized onions, roasted tomatoes, goat cheese, and poblano tomato sauce. I mean, it's hard to talk about this without wanting it right in my face. Pile on the extras by adding protein, an egg, or avocado. We love to participate in Hoover Restaurant Week for a couple reasons. It brings exposure to our restaurant and fellow restaurateurs, as well as helps highlight diversity on our menu, claims Andrew Adams, who, along with his wife Rachel, is owner of Biscuit Belly and a third-year participant in Hoover Restaurant Week. HRW shows off everything that is good about Hoover-based, locally owned businesses run by our neighbors. It is truly Southern hospitality Hoover style, says Cohen, and we at Enjoy Hoover can't help but agree. This year, the event will increase to feature nearly 50 local restaurants. All restaurants will be included on the Hoover Restaurant Week website at hooverrestaurantweek.com and on their Facebook and Instagram pages. A listing of their featured menu items will be available as well. The event is open to all full and limited service restaurants, but generally does not include fast food restaurants or food trucks. Kickoff for the 9-day event is Friday, July 18th at WBRC with live segments starting at 7:30 a.m. Hoover Restaurant Week is a labor of love for Enjoy Hoover and myself, and we have a committee of volunteers that assist in making it all happen, adds Cohen. Besides food festivals and sporting events, most everyone in Hoover agrees that they love saving money. And everyone can do that with the back-to-school tax-free weekend taking place from Friday, July 18th to Sunday, July 20th. And like many other Alabama cities, Hoover will be participating. It's a weekend where you can shop at big box stores or stores that are locally owned. From pencils, pens, binders, erasers, crayons, calculators, and even computer supplies, back-to-school shopping quickly adds up, which is why it's always nice to be able to participate in the tax-free weekend and buy necessary items at a lower price. As you're browsing your child's school supply list, you'll be happy to know that many school supplies are included on the tax-free list. While you're shopping, keep in mind that each school supply item must equal $50 or less to receive the tax-free benefit. And it keeps getting better because clothing is also eligible for the tax-free benefit. From belts, boots, jeans, sandals, school uniforms, sneakers, and coats, you'll be able to create your child's fall, winter, and spring wardrobe at a convenient price. Now, similar to the school supplies, each item must equal $100 or less to get it tax-free, and that's the clothing we're talking about. Stores like popular clothing retailer TJ Maxx will feature backpacks, school uniforms, and dorm room supplies, whereas retailers like the Office Depot will be your go-to for tax-free computer supplies, school supplies, and items for teachers. While the big box stores offer convenience and bulk, we love shopping local ourselves. For those who live in Jefferson or Shelby County, different local businesses are participating in this annual event. Keep in mind that most of these businesses will follow the tax-free guidelines on the Alabama Department of Revenue's website, revenue.alabama.gov. Shops like the Pants Store will have different items eligible for the tax-free benefit. At their store, you can find dresses, jewelry, outerwear, jackets, pullovers, shoes, and many other accessories. We think this is a great store for teenage girls and young adult women who need a dress for a high school dance like Sadie Hawkins or a sorority event, including recruitment. Even Alabama Outdoors, a retailer known for apparel, shoes, and sports equipment, will be participating. According to community manager Natalie Ferguson, men's, women's, and youth apparel $100 or less, including belts, hats, and footwear, such as sneakers, boots, sandals, and socks, will be available for the tax-free benefit. The list also includes book bags and lunchboxes priced at $50 or less. For teachers and other school administrators, visit the Parent Teacher Store and purchase class calendars, decor, bulletin board sets, and other educational materials. Pretty much everything in our store is eligible for the tax-free benefit, a team member shared. Go ahead and mark your calendars for this annual event and be sure to stop by these businesses and other retailers to save big on school supplies, clothing, books, and computer supplies. Thanks for listening to the Enjoy Hoover podcast. For even more information about Hoover and what's happening, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.